Hello, fellow Outschool teachers. It's me, Shay Pepper. I thought I would just try and make a basic tutorial for you so that you could use the WeVideo program to make your introduction to Outschool videos if you wanted to do that. So I personally use a paid version of WeVideo, but they do have a free version. And I think the only difference between my version and your version is that they limit the free version to, I think it's like 1 5-minute video a month, which if you're really planning to only use it for this one time, makes it really simple because Outschool's looking for a 60-second to 90-second video. So I wanted to go ahead and hopefully help you out by sharing this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so that you can have a look. And you can see what Outschool or what WeVideo is looking like. So let me minimize this and come over here to WeVideo. All right, so you should be looking at WeVideo now. And when you come to WeVideo, then it's going to give you an option to create something new. So you create new, and it probably is going to give you a chance to select a project. I personally chose the Traveling Teach, which is kind of what I work under. And then you click whichever format you want to do. Personally, I use a horizontal rather than a square. If you're just using square for social media, particularly for like Instagram, then that's a good choice. But I like to use horizontal. So I click horizontal and then I click Start Editing. So once you're here, it might look a little bit overwhelming. So I'm going to explain all the different parts to you very quickly. So down here at the bottom, you have a chance to have the audio line, plus you have video 1, video 2, and you can add more videos if you need to, which in the case of making an Outschool video, if you want to make it the way I made mine with a voiceover and music and photos, then and possibly a video, then you're going to add different layers. So then the next thing that you see here is the file with the star, and that's the media. So you go in, and if you're going to add any kind of pictures to your video, or if you have already created some sort of video that you want to upload as an intro, then you will do import media and you will upload it. Personally, I have a lot of files because I have a lot of different things that I'm doing. Then the next one over is text. This is what you're going to use to create the beginning introduction if you want to use text for your name. And then it's also what you might want to use at the end if you have some sort of credits that you want to use, or another set of movable words that show who you are. You also have subtitle options here. So you have a box subtitle and an unboxed subtitle option. So if for whatever reason, maybe you're wanting to translate yours into another language, or if you're wanting to put funny side notes down at the bottom or give information or a website, then that would be what you could use to do that with. Next up, you have music choices, a lot of really fun music options that are free, built in. So they all kind of have a similar feel to them. But I think that for the purpose of this video, it's quite easy and quite fun to use. Transitions are similar to how you might use them in PowerPoint, where they transition you from one thing to the next. I typically stick to crossfade or dip to black. That's just what I like to use. And those are kind of the simplest. And then there are graphics that you could put in the background. I didn't choose to put any graphics in the background of my video, but you could do that if you wanted to. So I'm just kind of going with how I made my video. So I probably won't include graphics, but feel free to ask me a question about graphics once this is finished. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to choose any pictures that I have that I want to include. So I made my Outschool video. And I had made, first of all, I made kind of a short introduction. So did one for about 15 seconds, and it was just me saying like, hi, so that parents could see me moving. And the way that I did that was actually to go and just use, I went and actually just used the camera on my computer. So I just went down to the start button, chose camera, chose webcam, and recorded it. Then I just uploaded it to WeVideo as a piece of media. So that was how I did that first little part. So what you're going to do, I tend to find that the more you can kind of get things going up front so that you don't have to shift a lot of things later, the better that it is. And I'll explain that more. So for here, for example, the first thing that I wanted to include was some sort of text about who I was. So I chose the motion text. And when you click and drag it down, so I used video 1, I clicked and drag it down, and then I double click on it, and it gives me the opportunity to edit the words. So Shea Pepper, best teacher ever. No, really, sorry if you thought you were. All right, so there you go. There's the information. And I can change the colors on it by coming up here to the color palette. So if I want it to be orange and I want it to be fuchsia, I can just change those colors up here at the top. So I'm going to go ahead back to white, and I'm going to stick with that nice green. And there we go. So now this is in there. So you can change the font if you don't like the font. You can change the font for each specific line if you want to. And you can then also change how big that it is. So if I wanted to make some of it bigger or smaller, I could just use this part here where it says auto or manual. I could change it over to manual, and I could make this text smaller, or I could make it larger. And then you just click done editing, and that part is now ready. Okay, so then the next thing that I'm going to do is making sure that all of my media is uploaded. So media is in the envelope with the star, and I'm going to have used this upload button to import media. So when you click on it, it lets you choose either from social media sites, Dropbox, or from your computer. And so you can either drag and drop, or you can select that media here. So I've already got mine uploaded. So then I moved my little video down here, my 15-second welcome video. And then I went ahead and added some pictures. So these pictures are not in order right now. They automatically go, I believe it's to 5 seconds a picture. So I'm going to add in my pictures along here. And then when you add a transition, it takes away from the actual timing of the pictures. So here is my video, and then here are my pictures. Before I record my other speaking part, because I wanted to speak over my pictures, then I like to go ahead and add my transitions in first so that I know how long it's going to take. So then what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to add one more thing here at the end, because I want to have another one here at the back end that says, so again, I double clicked that and it brought up my primary text, Shea Pepper, your favorite Outschool teacher. And again, I can change the fonts on that just by clicking underneath. And I can change the colors and sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and click done editing. So now I've got the basics of what I want in my video. Okay. So then I'm going to click this first one, and you can see that it's highlighted by orange. Then I'm going to click and hold shift and click so that all are selected. Now you can see they're all blue. When I use the right click button, it brings up adjust duration or add transition. So I'm going to click add transition. So that added a transition between every single part of my video. If I want to edit that transition, so it automatically goes to a certain amount of time and a certain type of transition. You click on a transition, then it automatically goes to crossfade and duration 1 second. Personally, I like to keep it to half a second. So I adjust it to 0.5. I then can adjust it to crossfade if I want. Sometimes it does that where you have to kind of go back in. So I'm going to keep it on crossfade because I like crossfade, but you could dip to black. You could do there's all kinds of crazy things. You could wipe up, you could rainbow. There's many, many things. So we're going to do crossfade. And then I'm going to pick that one last time, and I make sure it says all. And then I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to be a pain because obviously it decided that I didn't do that right. So I'm going to shift and select. I'm going to edit, and I want to do all. Sometimes you have to go back and maybe make another choice again, and then it will edit all. Or it's supposed to. So try all first, then try changing it. Of course, I'm trying to make this video for you guys, and it's now There we go. So if you change it to all first, then you make your changes to your time and what kind of fade you want. That will change all of them for you. So you can see now that the transitions are here between each thing. Now let's say I wanted to add another picture because I realized I left something out. Then I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to do this. And it's going to be yellow and it's going to say trim to fit or insert and push. So I'm actually going to insert and push. And then you're also going to need to add another transition right here. So you're going to click add transition and you're going to need to edit that transition. So it's best if you can know that what all your pictures are going to be to start with, but you can add one in afterwards if you need to. Okay, so now I've added in the pictures that I want. So now I wanted to go ahead and record my talkover part, which is the part that you heard as I'm speaking in my video. So then what I did was I went to my regular camera on my regular laptop and I brought it up. And once I brought the camera up, I pulled it up so that it was small and I could see myself. But it doesn't matter what you're looking at on this one because you're not going to see it. Okay, so then what I do is I record while I'm looking here and this preview run. Okay, so what I did was, so let me delete that. I'm sorry, let me not confuse things. So you come up here, you can watch it and you can watch the preview run. Okay, so as it's running through, you can then see what's happening. So I let it run through, or you can move it over. And so once I got it to here, I hit the preview. And as the preview ran, I also recorded. So I recorded what you were seeing. So I would make a video on my own laptop outside of WeVideo, and I watched these pictures as they went through. So I went ahead and talked about how I've been to the Grand Canyon and how I like to wear chicken hats on my head. And I also really love my dog Truffles. Here's Truffles wearing a pair of sunglasses. Then I also like to tell people that I'm a Hufflepuff. So I went ahead and included this picture here. And what's happening is as I'm watching this while I'm recording, I'm able to talk about the picture for as long as it's on there without having to guess. So I'm able to talk over it because it doesn't matter what I myself am looking at in this video because you're not going to see this second video. You're only going to hear it. I love llamas. Here I am trying aerial yoga. Thanks so much for picking me as your Outschool teacher. Okay, so then I would go and I would finish my video clip. Then I would upload it to the media, which is ended up with this one. So what I did then is I put it on the second video. Once it's here, it's going to run concurrently with these pictures. Now, because it is on top, it's on video too, you're only going to see me, but you can adjust the levels. Okay, so when you hit edit, it's going to give you a bunch of different options, but we're not actually going to hit edit. We're going to hit this one right next to edit. And it's going to give us our fade options. So you can fade your video in and out in a certain number of seconds. You can fade your audio out, and you can determine how loud your audio is. So this top line up here that has this circle, you can adjust the opacity of your pictures or video using the green line here. So for this, I wanted to take my opacity down to 0 because I don't actually want anyone to see that video. But I keep my audio, the blue one underneath, at 100%. Okay, but let's just say if I wanted to have you be able to see my video as well as my pictures at the same time, I could adjust my opacity, and then what you would is the picture and the pictures and the video overlapping one another. Or maybe you want to start where you can see the video and change its opacity over time. You can do that as well. So it will start in one way. Here I am talking, and you'll be able to see what happens. So eventually that faded back out. And if I were to let it keep running, it would fade back in. So we want our opacity on 0 on this video. Okay. And for the purposes of this video, I want to cut this as well. I don't want it to run all the way through. So I'm going to put that here. I'm going to make sure that the orange box is only around this level of video. Then I'm going to click the little scissors, snip, and I've now snipped my section. I can either move that and put it somewhere else, or I can delete it altogether and just have this part here. So now when you watch it, you can hear me, but you can't see my video and you can see my pictures.
So, as I said, my name is
So because I was doing this video, as you can see, I was kind of being very like matter of fact about what was going on. I may redo my video in the future, but for now, I'm happy with what I've got for them. So I'm just very specific in talking about what's going on. Now, let's just say you want to amp this up one more time and you want to put music to it. So there's tons of different, and you can just click on them and listen to them. I personally, I think I chose Hard Day because, I'm a hardcore awesome teacher. Or maybe I chose Summer Rock. Okay, but there's all different kinds. If you feel like a more sensitive and quiet Outschool teacher and you want a more relaxing music, you can choose that. Or you could choose mysterious hip hop. So those are your choices. And what you can do then is choose your music and drag it down to the audio section. If it will let you. There you go. All right, so we want to make sure that we can see where it's going to drag, and then we want to drag it down there, okay? So once you've done that, you have the same option that you had before in terms of editing its volume. So this blue line on here, again, gives you your fade in, fade out options, or you can make as many little dots along here, and you could make your music turn down and turn up and turn down as many times as you want, or you can just turn it all the way down or keep it at 5% the whole time, whatever works best for you. Personally, I like to have it fade down a little bit slowly. So I've got it here. You could just have the one dot. I'm using the two dots because I had created them. And then the rest of this, you could just turn down so that it goes away. Or you can make another dot here at the end so that it comes back up at the end. So making sure that you have it where you want it. There it goes. So it's going to go up and down and up and down. So our music ended right there at our transition. Then I'm able to talk. Then I'm going to shift over a little bit so you can see this part. Then you can drag it to the end here. Using this slider can drag you to any part of the process. And there comes our music once again. Now you can also snip the music just like you snipped your video. So this is now selected in orange. So wherever I put this, I can just cut the music. Because the orange is around the audio, I can click the little scissors, and I now have different parts. So I can come down here, and if I want to snip at this end, I can come down here and snip because it's orange, and I can now delete that music in the middle. And then I can move these if I want to wherever. And then if you keep along looking up here at the very top, this will show you how many seconds it is. So for your Outschool video, you want it to be somewhere between 1 minute and 1 minute and 30. That is the limit of our videos for the Outschool introduction. So it will be small enough to upload and there shouldn't be any problems with it. Now let's just say, for example, maybe you wanted to add that background that I was talking to you about earlier. I always just leave it as video 3 unless I have something really specific that I want to do. So let's just say I want to put this aura behind all of my pictures. So I'm going to put that there. And then when you see it running, let's see here. So as you can see, it's on top. So what we want to do is either change the opacity or we want to move that video. So you should be able to, just like we edited earlier, you can change the opacity so that you can see the pictures. So there it is behind my pictures. So what we can do then, if you only want it behind your pictures, the orange is around it, we can snip and delete that first part that we don't want. And so now when it runs, you're going to see the pictures, hear my voice, and this is going to be in the background.
So, as I said,
and you can change the opacity of that as it goes using this little thing here, just like you did with the music. Okay, When you're all finished and you've previewed it and you're like, yep, this is what I want. So you're going to check it over here in the right-hand corner. You're going to watch it all the way through, make sure it's what you like. Then you're going to scroll back up here and you're going to click Finish Video. When you click Finished Video, they're going to have you give a name to it. My Outschool Teacher Intro Video. Set. Then it's going to ask you what quality. You can choose to use 720, 1080, or 4K. Personally, I use 1080. And then you choose the thumbnail. So maybe I want that to be my thumbnail. I often just choose black or I choose something else. If you actually look at what Outschool chose on my video, it's me eating a hot dog. So I might choose that as my thumbnail, or this one or this one. Then you're going to click Finish. And what it's going to do once it's captured your thumbnail is it's going to queue up and it's going to process your video. You don't have to keep this open. It will send you an email when it's finished. And then you can come on and you can download it. You can use the WeVideo link. You can download it to YouTube. And that's ways that you can share it. So, and then you can upload it that way to the video for Outschool. So that's how we do it. When it's all finished, you just download it. It'll give you a little download option using WeVideo. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope that it wasn't too long. I hope it wasn't too fast or too slow. Please feel free to ask me any questions if you would like to. I have no problem. And I'm not a WeVideo expert, but I have made a couple of videos with it. And while, again, I don't claim to be perfect at it, it can at least maybe help give some life and fun and joy to your video if that's what you're looking for. So I just wanted to share it. Obviously, I'm a teacher, so I love to teach. So I thought, hey, why don't I just make a video that teaches the other teachers how to do this? So I hope it's helpful for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Anyway, good luck, everyone. Bye.